Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for coming back. I hope you guys are having an amazing time and I hope you are living a blissful and happy and safe life. So let's jump into what I want to talk about today. I'm sorry I don't take much longer in introductions or everything because I think the knowledgeable discussion just goes ahead and we all know each other as of now. So let's just talk about it. What I wanted to talk about was how you can change someone who you dearly love. There's a point of time in your life where you think that you are growing and the people you love are not growing the same way, or they're just lacking something in their life and you want to change them for better. Now, the question here lies, why do you want to change them? Sometimes the change is not always for better. Sometimes people think, okay, I cannot change myself, so I'll just change the other person the other way around. If this is your intention of watching the video, please do not go ahead and do not watch it, because the video is regarding how you change someone for better, for the betterment in their life, for overall better things. Like you want to have someone read the knowledgeable books and they don't do it, so how you can have them do it? It's just like something that will help their life get better, not your life get easier, if I put it into words like that. Yeah. So the good thing and the bad thing about changing people is it is never up to us. Now your question might be, if it's never up to us, then why am I even talking about it? Right? But there might be some ways you can do it technically, but it is never up to you. It's like Cal says in The Mockingbird. He says something like, if you want to change them by talking right, they've got to learn to change themselves. And if they do not learn it, you have to keep your mouth shut or talk their language. It's something like this that Kyle says in the To Kill a Mockingbird. I do not have the exact dialogues, but this is just something I remember and popped up in my head. So how do you really change them? Why we cannot change them is because we cannot live other people's lives for us. We do not know what's going on in their life. Every person going through some hard time, and if they're telling you about that time, you'll be like, oh, I know, I feel it. But no, you do not feel it. It's just the person going through that problem who can really feel what they are feeling. Right? You cannot live their life. You can love them, you can lend them a shoulder of support, but you cannot change them. You can guide them to be better, but unless they really want to change themselves, they will not. There might be some ways that we can do that though. And I think I have found like 3 to 4 ways that technically helps people around yourself to be better and to grow at your pace. So let's jump into the points and let's jump into the topic. Okay, so the first point is lead by example. When you're trying to change someone for better, you automatically become a leader. Okay, so in that case, you'll have to lead by example. You cannot just keep talking about it and not do it yourself, right? In this situation, something good and bad can come out of it. I don't think it's something bad, it's just good for you. So either way, when you're doing something good, or when you're doing something good or a great in like growth way, there'll be people in your circle who'll say, oh, you think you're all that? Yeah, because when you're growing up, there are people who comes around to pull your leg down. They'll be like, oh, she thinks she's all that. And that people, they'll just avoid you. They'll just start avoiding you because they do not want to work hard and see changes in themselves. The second thing can happen is some of your friends or someone you love might be, oh, she's working so hard, and if she can do it, I can do it too. You can inspire them. You can become an inspiration for them. Because it's in your closer circle. You can give them support and everything. So that's That's both the good things that happen when you lead by example. Yes, there'll be hard work, right? Yes, there'll be days that you'll be like, why am I doing it when I want the other person to become a better version of themselves? But it's just showing them that these are your values. This is what you are. And they'll just jump into it and do it for you or become better looking at you. They'll just be inspired. The second point is, instead of giving someone answers, just give them questions. The only thing in this world that can never stop your growth is introspection, when you know who you really are. When you pay a therapist, any of you, if you ever had a therapist, or if you have seen movies and there were therapists in it, if you have seen series, because any movie we see nowadays, they'll have like someone will have some sort of therapist. When you hire a therapist, the therapist will never give you answers. They'll always give you good questions. So the secret lies in introspection. When you know yourself, when you know the answers to the questions. And some people think that when they hire a therapist, they're just like, oh, they'll get answers to their problems. But no, the therapist will give you good questions so that you yourself can answer that question. And that's the best way to learn. So instead of giving them answers, just give them questions. Like, you know what the answer is, but you don't want to give them the answer, because if you just give them the answer, they'll not think about it. And when you give them question, they'll just introspect, they'll think about it. Even if you think about journaling, when you start journaling or writing diary, what happens? The journaling prompts are like, how are you feeling today? Or what made you do this? Or what was the most happiest time in your life? They're all questions. So even if you think that you want to do something for better, just ask yourself questions, or ask some like great people to give you questions. Questions are the answers. The third thing is, offer help unconditionally. When you know someone is going through a hard time, just let them know. Just call them, text them, and let them know, hey, I know you've been going through a hard time, and if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm here. It's good to put something out there. They know that you are there. They can talk with you, even though they choose not to, but they just know that you're there. Because sometimes we know someone is going through a hard time and we are like, oh, that person is not coming to me, so I am just not going to talk about it. Or not going to ask them that they can talk about it to me. It's wrong. Just let them know you're there. Just put it out. And sometimes when someone discusses any of the problem with you, or they're like, oh, this is what's stopping me from going forward, and you have experienced the same thing before in your life, just tell them your story. And it's not like you are interrupting yourself into it, or you are just not listening to them. It's just like you're telling your experience, and you are lending your experience for his perspective, so that he can use that experience in his life. And the best part is, the other person has the right to choose if they really want to use that experience in their life or not. You're not intervening in their life and asking them to really use this advice, right? You're just sharing your story and how you got over the fact, whatever you were going through at the time. Because there's a great thing. Whenever you have a problem and you think that no one will understand this problem, you're wrong. Because when you're going through that problem, someone has already went through that problem, or someone has already been through that situation. Or even if the problem or the scenario is not the same, they just know how to deal with it. So start discussing your problems with people you trust. Many people nowadays are like, oh, I have trust issues. If that's the scenario, just anonymously just post on TikTok nowadays. All these girlies are doing, or all these like TikTokers, they do this. They'll just post it, oh, this happened. And the girls will literally in comments give advice and tell them their own story. At least this is a good part of being having a social media in today's generation. And the fourth thing is, you can suggest them a goal. You just, or the auto suggestion in subconscious mind thing, just tell them, hey, I think you want to do this, so you can do this. Just tell them things, and they'll just catch up on something, and that'll be their goal. This is the only way you can try to change people. And believe me, the only way to change people is when there's something in them that tells them to change themselves. But the worst part is you'll have to model the same behavior. You cannot just talk about it. They say the best part to bring change is not to talk about it, but to model it. That's how when you have kids and you are like, oh, they should be having a good parenting, you just start modeling the behaviors, and they'll just do what you are doing instead of listening to what you're saying. So this is the end of my video. Think about it. And it's not about why do you want to change someone, and the things that people say, oh, if you want to change someone, you do not love that person fully. These are really old things, and I'm talking about it in some other perspective. Like, that the other person have potential to do so much better. So please go ahead and change it. If you do not love that person, that means you don't want to change them, and you don't want to see them better in their life. So when someone loves you, they're going to be hard on you sometimes. They'll tell you that this is what you can do better, because they can see your actual potential. And if someone doesn't ask you to be better, question yourself, do they really love you? Because love is growth. For me, love is growth. And for me, love is never giving up on yourself and never giving up on your dreams. Okay, guys, that's all. Have a good one and think about all this. Any questions, please let me know, DM me, email me, or comment down the video. Bye-bye.